Good morning. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians and owners of the land on which we meet today. For me, I'm in a beautiful part of the world, the Awabakal country, and I thank elders past and present for the care and nurture that they've provided to the lands. I'd also like to extend my respects to elders past, present, and any Aboriginal person who may be with us today. It's my very great pleasure today, and I'm very excited to introduce you to the 80s to 90s initiative. This is a fantastic piece of work that I think you will be really inspired by and will make a difference for the students in your school. The support comes under the school success model. The school success model has two main components. The first is there's an acknowledgement of our shared responsibility to improve student outcomes, which is why we're working today as a team, the school principal, a senior leader within your school, your Director of Educational Leadership, and your Learning and Wellbeing Coordinator. And that's that recognition that to improve student outcomes, it absolutely takes a team. The second component of the school success model is the structured support for all schools, whether they're in universal, guided, or strategic levels of support. You might be wondering how you came to be chosen to be part of this exciting initiative. The way we looked at attendance, firstly, is the department has an absolute expectation that all students should be attending at least 95% of the time. That said, research highlights that 90% is a significant hinge point. So students who dip below 90% are considered educationally at risk, and that has a significant impact on their social, academic, and general well-being. Now, when we look across the state, we have too few students that are above 90%, and we designed a model of support, and in doing so, our primary goal was to provide the greatest support to the maximum number of students. So we looked at the school data across the state at the midway point of last term, so term 2 H1, and we identified the number of students required for each school to uplift to realise their lower bound school improvement target. What this has done is it's given us an extensive list of schools. We then went back through executive directors and directors educational leadership to confirm the suitability of schools and the readiness of the team to lead improvement. So congratulations, you've been endorsed by your Director of Educational Leadership, and you're going to undertake a really intensive program over 20 weeks. During this time, we'll have 4 workshops. The first 2 workshops are full day workshops, and workshops 3 and 4 are both half days. And finally, we come together to measure and talk about the impact that you've had within your school setting, what's worked and what we can choose to do more effectively going forward. The process is an unusual one, and I would like to acknowledge the great work of the delivery support team who have worked with school performance to come up with a very different model. We refer to it as a hub and spoke model. This means that we bring you in to a central location in small teams, and the work is, or the information is provided and co-constructed with you. Then in between each workshop, there's a series of activities that schools will identify and then will be expected to implement during that 5-weekly period before coming back together to reflect on the impact and to set the next measure of activity. One of the great strengths of this process, I believe, is going to be that cross-pollination. So having principals of similar schools with similar challenges together in one room means that you will explore, you'll have rich discussions and hopefully lead to a level of innovation that we previously haven't seen. We do have a problem of practice, and for my personal belief is that for the majority of the students in Tier 1, which is the 80 to 90% range, and indeed our focus for this initiative, that effective communication, follow-up and quality relationships will make a real difference. We know that the greatest difference that is made in attendance is only ever achieved with dynamic leadership. So I thank each of the principals for your passionate, enthusiastic and committed approach to student attendance. It's our combined leadership of everybody in the room that will make a difference. I look forward to reflecting on your feedback, looking at the improvement in your data, and knowing that by improving attendance, you've changed the life outcomes for those students in your school. Thank you for your participation. Enjoy the next 5 workshops.